Hi everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light, Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for all your comments, to those who have sent in donations, for those who have donated instead to Ukraine, the invasion, the war effort there in Ukraine. Thank you for all of those donations. All right, let's get started today. I do have a number of things to get through because so much has been happening. It's very difficult to decide where to put my my energies. As a little catch up, I did come up again to do tarot scopes, and I do have a channeling of the Divine Feminine, which directly addresses the consecration of Ukraine to Mary, the mother of Jesus. Okay, so I'll release that as well after I release this. So let's see. We've had multiple threats from Putin around a strike back if the EU and the US continues to arm up Ukraine. That's not new. He's been doing that since the beginning of this. He's also cut gas to Poland and Bulgaria. Poland has been diversifying away from Russian gas and has and is okay. They were planning to cut off their supply from Russia this year anyway. Bulgaria has been looking at sourcing gas from other areas, including Turkey, which I understand it is able to do. Since then, the EU members have come to their aid and are supplying gas from that they have access to. So I had the feeling that Putin did that again as a threat. They were small users of Russian gas. Since then, I think about 10 EU countries that get Russian gas have set up accounts with their Russian gas supplier. A few of them have ceded to his demands to pay for their gas in rubles. So you can see where this is going. Why and how, particularly Germany, entered into such a deal with Russian gas is beyond me. We all knew Putin beforehand, but anyway, this is how it's playing out. There has been threats to invade an area in Moldova which has supposed Russian separatists. This would cut Ukraine completely off from the sea. The Moldovians are concerned, they've always been neutral, that they are next on the list. And of course, we have Finland and Sweden accelerating their NATO memberships as well. The Russian economy is said to be really hovering on the brink. This gas move would indicate that's correct. I do want to go to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm not going to give her an acronym. She is just, from what I know of this person, she's just wanted this attention, this public attention. Well, she got it. She's in court. And I don't think a finding has been handed down yet on whether she would be allowed to stand again for her part in an attempted coup, or alleged part in an attempted coup. The other chilling information that came out was on Vice President Mike Pence, who uttered the words, "I will not get into that car." There seems to be speculation that there may have been Secret Service agents that may have been part of this attempt. Pence clearly was fearful of something when he said that. So look, let's get through this right now. It's going to be a bit of a session. Let's see where the cards will lead us. First of all, just one or two overarching energies for people to contemplate between now and the next reading. Overarching energies for the collective, please. We have this full moon coming up in Taurus on April the 30th. In fact, by the time I upload that, we're getting very close to that. We've got like a stellium happening in Pisces, Jupiter, Neptune, Mars, Venus, what else? Huge energies. This is why I think I come up here, I go to start a tarot scope and bang, I get a clairvoyant mediumship connection with somebody. Pisces, of course, is one of the most clairvoyant intuitive psychic signs in the zodiac. Jupiter and Neptune. Jupiter used to rule Pisces before Neptune was discovered. Neptune is Pisces ruler. Then we have Venus, the self, love, relationships with others, the way we are bonded in the collective, and Mars driving forward. It's no wonder that our psychic antennas are up. So what is the overarching energy for contemplation? 1 or 2 cards for my viewers, please. So we have change, absolutely, and so you can pause the video here if you want to look at that. It is tumultuous, isn't it? There is action here, and also a pushing away, and this kind of lightning strikes Uranus energy here. Change, huge changes afoot right now. And we have the void. Okay, so it's like we are in suspended animation. This might be occurring all around us, but in some way we are in the void. Something hasn't come into form yet. That's Jupiter and Neptune. And we have looking at our self-reflection. Looking at our self-reflection, what are we going to find? What are we going to find? You know, you might be wanting to say, stop the merry-go-round, I want to get off. You can't. It is the time that we are in, and it does speak to how, when we look at our self-reflection, looking at what lessons we either have learned or failed to learn. And so you will get these old issues, perennial issues that are coming up and will come up, continue to come up for you at the individual level that you haven't dealt with. There's no shoving it under the carpet anymore. Nourishment. Nourishment. Look at that. You see the earth here in this, it's in a void almost. It's grayscale. And yet look what we have here. So we are in the midst of creation in, I think, you know, dark matter, black holes, the void of potentiality. Right, let's get started. Hopefully we can address all of these questions in this one reading. Okay. All right. Thank you for your your temperance in your comments. I really like that you are also well reasoned. Well, most of you anyway. Okay. All right, Poland. No, Moldova. Let's go to Moldova. Does Putin want Moldova? He wants that area for sure. Tunistria, whatever that is called. Does Putin want a part? Now, the High Priestess is saying that this is unknowable in a way. It's being formed in his mind. He may not have initially intended to even invade Ukraine fully just to hive off those separatist readings, but he is making this up now literally as he goes along, and we have here the Queen of Swords and the Chariot. Yeah, this is like plans and strategies are now being formulated against him as quickly as he moves forward with an aggressive act. Well, people are even ahead of him. Allies are even ahead of him. This feels like, even though we've got the Chariot, this feels like World War III is happening anyway. It's just we can't comprehend it. But you have an aggressor marching into sovereign countries, extending his aggression, and then you have allies not wanting to be drawn into a world war, but seemingly in a de facto way being drawn in anyway. All right. Does he want Moldova? So we have here the devil. Yes, he's greedy. He wants to be godlike. He wants to be the Tsar. He wants to control the world. This is very much Hitler energy. If you look at the motivations of Hitler, then you see the motivations of Putin. And in much the same way as he wants to eradicate a whole Literally, he would love to not to have Ukrainian identity at all anymore. This is exactly what Hitler did with the Jews. And the Ukrainians have been trucked to these filtration camps. You know, take a look at World War II and you'll see the same energies here. The world is undergoing change, just in that kind of card that I originally drew. But this is also endings and beginnings. So, lessons, a lot of lessons in history. The Six of Swords, there would be people that are leaving Moldova right now. He wants to clear these regions out so that he can occupy them. Leave a few of his Russian plants that he calls separatists, hold a fake referendum and take over. You know, it's not hard to see what he's trying to do. In the past, we have the Six of Wands. There's a victory here for him. Well, he hasn't been stopped yet, has he? All right, so we have Judgment. There's an inevitability, though, that he will. And every single reading that I do points to an end of this, an inevitability of failure. The World card means ending of something. Six of Swords also means out of troubled waters. And we have the Eight of Wands here. This deck is called the Templar Tarot. It's kind of like really the artwork. It really taps into that fiery Mars energy. Things coming to head very quickly. The Eight of Wands. So things are moving very, very quickly. I cannot see how the world stays out of this. We have the Five of Cups, loss, so much death, so much destruction. That's a fallen angel, by the way. A rite of passage, the fall. But here we have the Star. That's why I love to pull these cards, because they always offer hope. So that's the environment around. We are still hopeful. In the hopes and fears, the Ten of Swords, the ending, the death. People are just so fearful, and I can understand that. Absolutely understand that. Now we have the Queen of Wands. So this is the outcome card. He does want to march in there. He does want more and more territory. But we have the Two of Wands here, something coming to fruition in time. He's just not going to be successful. The Tower card. Look, you know, I have to say that until we understand that he's not going to be stopped unless we stop him. This isn't going away until we stop him. At the base of the pack, the Ace of Swords, new clarity, and the Ace of Pentacles. You don't often get these one after the other. And the Three of Wands, countries coming together, new solidarity in what to defend oneself. So ultimately, you know, the Tower card is for Putin and Russia. And Russia's allies. This is, as I said, a slow-moving World War III. Now, threats again. I haven't seen nuclear missiles, even though he keeps threatening them. Tactical strikes until now. I haven't seen it yet. But I always ask the question for my European viewers. Okay, so you know, it might not even be nuclear that he's alluding to. It might be this kind of hypersonic sound. What's that syndrome that was used in South America? I always felt that was a test, a hypersonic type of attack on people. Let's have a look. Something's coming out? Justice. Okay, so justice is flipping out. He wants justice, but also justice will... That's a karmic card. Putin has really, 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 really heavy karma. He's not getting out of this alive. ultimately, at the end of the day. The Hanged Man pausing, stopping, suspending something. What's he want to stop? There's also cyber attacks that he could be alluding to, but let's just stick with the nuclear tactical strikes. Is he still not going to do that? He knows that would be the end of this slow-moving aggression. The West would simply just become involved. And we have here the Four of Pentacles. So at this stage, he's being restricted from a nuclear strike. My feeling goes to something we may not have seen yet, something like that. I can't even remember the name of it. It's like an attack that affects the middle ear and the ability to think, walk, move. I think that's been tested already in South America. So sound waves, utilising sound to destabilise. Okay, so we have the Queen of Wands jumping out again, almost like an acknowledgement of that intuitive thought. So will he use nuclear weapons? All right, let's get going with these cards. So we have here the Seven of Cups, illusion and delusion. The choice hasn't been made yet. What's challenging him? We have the Ten of Cups. This is even worrying about his own family. Should he do that? That's the family card. So we have an illusion here. An illusion and delusion. And we have the King of Swords. This is certainly King of Pentacles. This is certainly his energy. The foundation of the reading. In the past, we have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. An offer. The Page of Wands. It's not the Queen, it's not the King. So I'm not necessarily seeing, something that is so devastating. Hermit, yeah, he's not decided that yet, is what I'm going to say. But we have this Judgment card, an inevitability that is, as it goes on, there's an inevitability here. But we also have the Hierophant. Judgment talks about endings. Hierophant, we keep seeing the Hierophant. And at this time, when you look at my channeling of the Divine Feminine, of looking at Mary's consecration of Ukraine and Russia to Mary that the Pope recently performed, I just keep seeing karmic cards and the Hierophant here. There is a higher energy at work here. The Nine of Wands in the hopes and fears, barriers, boundaries, and finally we get the Queen of Cups. So this is something, I think he's sitting on it. I don't think he's decided. There's nothing here. We've got the Two of Cups. This is emotion here. He's concerned about the effect on his loved ones. Can you believe that? He's killed and destroyed children and parents and lovers and partners. And now I have here the guardian angel, which tells me that it's not, at this stage, I can't see it. This is a card an extra card in this Templar Tarot. It's discontinued. It's difficult to get. It's a very expensive deck. And it's one in my collectors. It's a collector's deck. But it has one extra card called the Guardian Angel. Its energy is very, very similar to the Star. All right, at the base of the pack, we have the Ace of Wands. There's certainly plans. He certainly has it still here in his mind. And we have the Two of Pentacles, hasn't decided that yet. Okay, so he knows it would bring destruction on his own country. So, and that it would be that red line. Okay, so no, he hasn't decided that yet. It's still in the back of his mind. He could be referring to some other type of weapon. Anyone who has done what he's done is absolutely mad, as was Hitler. All right, now let's move to the US now. Well, hang on, one more question. Is the Russian economy about to tank? Two of Cups, commitments, contracts, the unity of the EU and the US to put those sanctions on him. He's just trying to break that unity through the turning off of the gas. The Knight of Cups, you know, he's met with the UN leader and said he would establish a UN corridor for refugees to come out of Mariupol. Now, I said that way back in March, that there would be such a corridor, but then in the next breath, this person drops more bombs on the steelworks in Mariupol. Forget the Russian economy. Yes, it's diving. Pundits, experts say it's on the brink of collapse. All right, the gas move was a desperate move. All right, so let's look at Mariupol. We have the Queen of Swords here now. Plans and strategies here. All is not lost for Mariupol. Will those in Mariupol, will those civilians and those brave soldiers be helped in any way? Because I can't see Putin letting the soldiers go, but perhaps letting the civilians out via the UN. Now, they would have to be peacekeepers coming in there to establish those corridors, which is what I said would happen. Okay, so will the good people left in Mariupol get out? Will the civilians be able to get out? The Knight of Swords. So we've got the Red Cross. Red Cross might be allowed in too. We do have peacekeepers coming in into Mariupol to free these people. 2 knights, yeah. Help is on their way. Its way. We have the King of Swords holding the scales of justice. This again is for Putin to, you know, try and claw back some credibility after he's killed tens and tens of thousands of civilians, and genocide and war crimes and mass graves and filtration camps. This is righteous anger, by the way. The world, endings and beginnings. The world is watching Mariupol. He wants some concessions. That's what I think this is all about. The seven of wands, having to defend oneself. And we've got strength. So yes, eventually those corridors will be opened up and people will be allowed to go. But there's so much heartache here. And I almost see the soldiers being marched off to Russia in handcuffs while the civilians are let out. We have the Ace of Swords. We will see clearly the suffering of Mariupol. It will not lead to Putin's show of strength. It just further entrenches what he's done. That can't be undone. 4 of Cups, 3 lost, 1 remaining. There is hope for these beautiful children and people in Mariupol. Yes, the commitment will be honoured. What's the clarification there? The Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so something is changing. But he does want, we will see those, so many more have died. That of course is seen too. So, yes, the civilians get out. Now let's just move to the US. I'm particularly interested. I'm going to go to the Vice President, Mike Pence. I want to see why he said he was not sure at that stage how far Trump would go. He thought he was going to be murdered. He thought he was going to become a political prisoner. When he eventually talks, that's exactly what he's going to say. He was not sure of what Trump would do to him. And, I mean, this was a coup attempt against him, the Vice President, trying to certify the election. The US got out of this by the skin of its teeth. And the longer that people aren't held accountable, the more that this opens up the possibility it will occur again. All right, so why did he say, I will not get into? The US Vice President feared for his life, feared he would become a political prisoner, feared that Trump would be successful in his coup and that the democracy would then be under Trump's autocracy. He feared that. He feared for his life. That was the first thought. He and his family's life. The Vice President, if he got in the car with the supposed Secret Service agents. Swallow that one. Okay. Show me what was going through Vice President Mike Pence's mind. I can't believe this. We have here the Seven of Cups. He was not sure who he could trust. He thought this whole thing was, which choice will I make? If I choose this one, this will happen. If I choose this one, this will happen. The Ace of Wands. So he wasn't sure what the plan was. Basically, he did not know. He did not know. And we have the King of Cups here. As at the foundation of the reading, we have Biden. In some ways, he knew that if he didn't certify the election, Biden would never become the president. He knew that. And so he made despite the confusion, despite not knowing which way to go, he wasn't in some ways privy to the plan, the full plan. He made a very, very high emotional EQ, mature and wise decision to restore calm and not violence. So we have here in the past Three of Cups. He knew this is desperation. He knew that so much had been lost, but there was one cup remaining for him. So here's a man that, is very, very far right wing, if you want to. I don't even think there's right and left wing left anymore. I really don't. This is being divided in. Elon Musk, are you listening? This is divided into literally good and bad, responsible, irresponsible, cruel and kind. We're talking values. This is not a cultural war now. This is where is the red line for you? Where do your values sit? Okay, so the Fool card in the sky. So he wanted this new start. In some ways, the cynical politician knew if he survived this, he could be seen as a hero. I mean, will he stand in 2024? You betcha. Okay, so as a presidential candidate, the Five of Cups in the immediate future. Okay, so in a way, this was the red line for him. All of this going through his mind. So much was lost here. Regret. He did have regrets. He had regrets about what was happening on January the 6th. Moderation. He did want, that part of him wanted to bring forward that middle road to get the election certified. He knew that the democracy and his future and his family's future would not be survivable. So in a way, this is his patriotism coming to the fore. I know you don't want me to say that, but it is true. Moderation. That quite possibly his decision will eventually lead to a more moderate climate in the US, even though we can't see that now. The Three of Pentacles. He also was beholden to those moneyed interests. I know I keep going between, but that's what you get for someone who even agreed to stand as Trump's vice president. The Page of Pentacles, in the hopes and fears, so much to be lost, and he was worried about his children. I don't know who was there with him, but a young person or young people. Now we have the Knight of Wands. Okay, so this is movement. and he knew that he had to stay there in order to move all of this forward. A lot going through that man's mind, and we get the Four of Pentacles standing. The other meaning of the Four of Pentacles is standing one's ground. So in order to move forward, he had to stand his ground. It's as simple as that. Okay, and get people out of troubled waters too. He's very concerned about what would happen to those in the capital. He was literally conceiving of political prisoners. My goodness. That those in the capital that weren't loyal to Trump and Democrats would become political prisoners. Holy dooly. Okay, the Secret Service agents, the unpatriotic, were any of them, before I go down that track, were any of the Secret Service agents in Trump's planning involved in this coup attempt? Were any of the Secret Service agents involved in Knight of Wands? Okay, so some of them may have, what are they sharing? Movements? The movements? Given information away about movements? Were any of the Secret Service agents in Trump's detail, or Pence's detail even, were they involved in any way in this coup, attempted coup? Okay, someone was signalling. I don't know how many agents, or it's one agent or two agents. I have no idea. Wasn't all of them, obviously. You can't tar everybody with that brush. However, someone, I'm getting this image of someone, the mirror that gives the signal. Somebody was either communicating with the White House or the forces that be, the Proud Boys, whoever. There's a Secret Service agent involved here. The Lover's card. Yep, someone loyal to Trump. Part of the Trump cult. The Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment, wanting Trump to remain as president. There's Secret Service agents who are very much in the cult of Trump. I don't know how many. The Knight of Swords. The truth will emerge. Fear not. It's taking its time, but it will emerge. New starts in the past. This was a new way forward for this, whoever this Secret Service agent is, or agents. Become part of the autocrats' police force, or guards or whatever. Page of Wands. Yeah, there was maybe a younger Secret Service agent, or younger ones, young and impressionable. And we've got the King of Cups in the immediate future, which is the outcome card. That is my card for Biden. They are being tracked down. Again, this is being looked at within the DOJ. The Seven of Pentacles, under investigation. Look at that, under investigation. Hopes and fears. We've got the Knight of Wands. The plan will be revealed. The movement to take him away. We'll look at where they wanted to take him in a future and how that might have played out. And the Three of Wands in the outcome card. That's a yes. There could have been three, for example, involved, but there's definitely Secret Service agents that were. The decision needed to be made. Which side are you on? And they wanted to stop the certification. So yes, I'm saying also that the investigators are aware, because they have all these phone records, signal records. It's under such a huge investigation by the DOJ, but the truth will ultimately emerge. Long reading, lots of subjects to cover. That's it, folks, for the week. I'll get to whatever I haven't covered soon, and thank you for tuning in.